Good morning, lovelies. It is hump day in this part of the world, which means it's Wednesday, if that's a foreign concept. Let me know that you are hearing me all right and seeing me if that's okay, and we will dive in. I want to talk to you today about about something that is quite strange, but something that I've had just fantastic experiences with uh, in my story, and I really think that they will be helpful to you. I would not consider myself a runner. Um, Rarely have ever experienced a runner's high, but um, I would say that it's been some of the it's just been an enriching experience, just been a sometimes really spiritual experience, and aside from the fact that my noggin does better, my noggin does better in the process, and a lot of other things too. So hey, if you are if you're with me this morning, say good morning. Let me know. Good morning, Rebecca. Good morning, Janine. Great to be on with you, and uh, we're going to jump into some lessons that I've learned from my first marathon. Okay, so without further ado, let's dive in. And Sonia, welcome. First lesson. You ready for the first lesson? Lessons that I've learned running my first marathon, and let me tell you, I did try out for cross country in school when I was growing up. But let's just say I wasn't Mae West, um, and since that time, the only running that I've done really is around the corner or after winning me kids or something like this, right? So I want to talk to you about lessons that I've learned from a marathon. Ready for number one? It's always easy at the start, no matter what type of marathon you're in. And so don't just tune me out to say daily, I couldn't run to save me life. Grand. We're not talking about necessarily physically running, although I'm going to use that as my how do you say I'm going to use that as my springboard, right? So first thought I have for you is um, it's always easy at the start, and so let me do this. Let me see where I can pop this so it will work. A fella says, okay, there we go. I think. So first lesson for me has been it's always easy at the start, and I think we would probably find that true in a lot of different things, that we do, that we find ourselves in, right? Hebrews 12:1 says, "Hey, don't forget, we're surrounded by a great cloud of witnesses, and so." So let's lay aside, let's shake off of us, anything that's kind of holding us down, that's weighing us down, and anything that easily trips us up, right? Any sins or any mistakes or any maybe habits that just get us entangled. Uh, and let's run with patience the race that's set before us. Well, I never forget. I was, you try to do whatever you can do to get ready. So didn't I have all of this kind of waxy stuff on my body to make sure that hopefully this isn't an overshare, but just so that I wouldn't have a whole boatload of chafing. And so I'm in the line to go experience some relief before the thing starts. And I see this fella standing in front of me, and he has this bandana on his head, and it says Ironman. I'm thinking, hey, I surely have to be able to glean something from this Ironman before we dive into this. I say, hey, buddy, and he says, yeah. And I said, look, this is my first marathon, and you got any tips for me? He's like, seriously? I'm like, yeah, man. Like right now, like right before we're about to start, I'm like, I could use all the help I can get. He said, you know, I do. And he says, when they offer you water, take it. I said, that's it. He said, that's it. When they offer you water, when they offer you fluids, take it. Especially in the beginning, he said, because you're not going to feel like you need it. You're not going to feel like you want it. It's going to be cold. It's dark. It's like 5 o'clock in the morning, 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock in the morning. We're lining up for these porta potties, and he says, when they offer you fluids, take them. Your body will need them, and don't mess around with that. I'm like, thank you. He said it'll help cramping afterwards and all the rest. So that was a sidebar. I'm just saying it's always easy at the start, and he was kind of saying that. Look, kid, it's going to be easy in the beginning, but you better get your reserves into you so that you can, last for the long haul. That's good. That's good. Okay, so number one, and I need to share my screen with you so that we can have these two going together. Number one, it's always easy at the start. So lessons for life. Lessons for life. How about lessons for life? From my first marathon. By the way, if you're wondering where it was in Savannah, Georgia. Savannah, Georgia, absolutely gorgeous place. I never have been able to get there for St. Patrick's Day, which they tell me is delightful. But man, just running this marathon through the streets of Savannah was absolutely gorgeous. All right, it's always easy. The start is always easy. And I gave you Hebrews 12:1. All right. Number two. Don't start too fast. Don't start too fast. They tell me that men are like microwaves and women are like crock pots, or even now the more modern cooking appliance is called an instant pot. Don't let that fool you. It's not instant, but it's pretty quick, and it's not instant, and it's definitely not a microwave. So I'm sharing this. If you start too fast, don't start too fast. Because you won't have enough reserves, number one. Number two, my adrenaline was pumping. I wanted to blast over that start line like it was a 100-meter dash, right? But life's a marathon. It's not a sprint. And so sometimes one of the biggest things for us is to give ourselves permission, right? To grow, permission to change, permission to heal, permission to transform. And that takes time. It takes time daily. Say that to yourself. It takes time. So, couple of thoughts. First one, I want to encourage you, if you would like some of these lessons, if you'd like these lessons for me to send them to you, then what I need you to do is just write lessons. I just want you to write lessons in the chat area, and I'll send them to you. Okay. So second one is don't start too fast. Third lesson, ready for me? Third lesson. My third lesson was appearances mean nothing. Appearances mean nothing. What's Daddy? What do you mean? What I mean is, literally what I'm saying to you is that there were all shapes and sizes of people in Savannah to run this marathon, and all sorts of sizes, shapes. There were like small people, short people, tall people, skinny as a whippet people, and people that had like a fair amount of poundage on them. And and this was the dawning to me. This was dawning. Listen, nothing is how it appears. Nothing's how it appears. Like I'm looking at some of them saying, you shouldn't be able to be running a marathon. But they're running fine. Some of them running rings around me. And so I was reminded that, later on in the race, I was amazed that these young, ripped, I'm telling you ripped because they had no shirt on their tops, one lad specifically, huffing and puffing, stretching, struggling, while these grey-haired, more mature in life runners passing them out, just passing them out. Oftentimes people come to us at Broken Chains, to our team, and it oftentimes feels like they're the only ones struggling. They're the only ones that are just having a difficult time, messing life up, or whatever the case might be. Don't know that that very, very, very little is how it appears. 2 Corinthians 10:12 says, hey, please stop comparing yourself among yourselves as the manner of some is, because it's foolishness. And so hey, that's number 3. Number 4, got some goodies for you, I hope. Number 4, I'm going to change the thickness of this and let me know if you can't see it, right? But if you want the notes for this lessons for your life from my first marathon, then just make sure that you pop in the chat area. Pop in the chat area. Pop in the chat area lessons. Yeah. Okay. So number 4, don't stop when you feel pain. Now, that's a dangerous one if you just take it on face value, right? Don't stop when you feel pain. And I know when I show this to you, it's backwards, right? So I'm not going to torment your head. I'm just going to call it out to you. And if you are a fast writer, and I'll say it a couple of times, you'll grab a hold of it, right? Our brains are wired to avoid pain, real or imagined. To avoid pain, to seek pleasure, and to use as little energy as possible. The most successful people in the world push against all 3. The least successful people in the world cave to all 3. Pain usually isn't experienced right at the start of a marathon, usually. We're in trouble if it is. But right before mile 20, my left knee, my left calf, and my left hip started to say, hello, can we get a rest? And thankfully, I just hung in there, because your body will do all sorts of things to you. I just hung in there, just took it easy, at mile 20, taking it easy. And the kind of messages quietened down, the joints quietened down. Sometimes when people come for coaching or for counseling, their expectation is that there won't be any pain. In fact, they're coming for us to help them take away their pain. And if they do experience pain, sometimes some believe something's wrong. And sometimes something is wrong. But if we don't embrace pain as part of our process in life, right? I mean, Jesus said, look, I don't want you to be surprised. I don't want you to be, taken off guard. Like in this world, you're going to experience trouble. You're going to experience pain. You're going to experience challenges. But take heart. I've overcome it all. I've overcome the world. It's often most brutal right before the breakthrough. However, I do have to say this: like pain is something that you want to pay attention to, that you want to be aware of, that you want to be assessing and making sure that it's not just a cry to stop, a cry to escape the growing pains. Right? I've talked to you before about going down the road and having pains in my groin area, like right at the top of my leg. Thinking, what is going on? And they were brutal when I was a nipper growing up, even though I was praying to God saying, God, please help me grow. Help me grow. I was tiny for a long time. So that's number 4. Number 5 is audible, right? Audible encouragement. What am I talking about? Makes a big difference. We were running through the streets of Savannah, and you're just plodding along, you're just trying to keep going, and I remember just have a random stranger on the sidelines shouting a few words of encouragement at me was really striking, and said to me, don't underestimate the power of your words to encourage strangers and sojourners alike. But I don't know them, doesn't matter. What if they get a big head? Let God worry about the size of their head. Words, so much power to hurt or to heal. We get the choice as to which we speak. Yesterday, one of our posts on social media was speak in such a way that others love to listen. And listen in a way that others love to speak. A lot of times people will come to believe that the weight of their words is not much at all. And that's so not true. Not true! So, audible encouragement makes, I think, a bigger impact. Even if your love language isn't words of affirmation, right? If you don't know your love language, there are 5 of them. Generally 5 of them, right? And one is words of affirmation. The other one is physical affection. The other one is gifts. The other one is acts of service. And the other one is quality time. Which do you think resonates with you? Important for you to know that. Important for you to know what other people's primary love language is. Love's communicated a lot of different ways, but man, you're going to love, you want to make sure you're landing on their runway. Can I get an amen? I mean, seriously, if we're going to go to the effort, let's make sure we're landing, yeah? At least as best we can. And your job is not to determine the outcome, but to be intentional about sharing the love. I'm going to share one more. Numero 6. Number 7 is the number of completion. How about we do 7? All right. Number 6 is support and encouragement are blind to social standing. How did you learn this? Where did this come from? I was blown away. Encouragement is blind. Social status, let's say. What? Blind it is to social status. What are you talking about? I was blown away by how many people in underprivileged areas or lower income areas were up so early in the morning to cheer us all along. While in the wealthier neighborhoods, way fewer folks were out of their beds, giving us a "go on, you good thing." So fewer in the wealthier areas were rooting us on. And so I just want to encourage you to be open to all who cross your path. No matter what their social status might be. You just never know who Father has used to lift your spirits. Right? Whether it's a leprechaun giving you a daily dose, whether it's a stranger saying, you can do this. You're going to make it. Just put one foot in front of the other. And just because you don't have everything you may need or you may want, you can still be an encouragement to others along the way. I can still see the streets. I can still see people out. I can still look up the path. I mean, in my mind's eye, as I'm running, I can still look up in the balcony, seeing people either empty, no one's there, or just place littered with people, just cheering you on. I don't know about you, but man, we need cheering on, right, for the long haul. And then I'm going to give you number 7, and number 7 is that there's power in prayer. At the beginning of the race, Deb got up crack of dawn and dropped me to this race start kind of drop off area, and she just said, "Hey, can I pray over you as you get going?" Man. Just having somebody else, especially the ones who love you the most, pray for you, right? To me, it touched me. It connected me with the strength I would desperately need to keep me going. She just prayed a blessing over me. It had more impact on me. And I think your prayers, whether they be audible or whether they be silent, have more impact on the people that you're praying for than I think oftentimes you realize. It was incredibly enriching. It was incredibly touching. It was incredibly connecting. It was incredible. She wanted running with me, but man. And can I say this? My beautiful bride, she's not words of affirmation are not normal, natural for her. So they don't flow, right? So sometimes to pray or to speak those words of encouragement or blessing, they take you outside of your comfort zone. But when you go outside of your comfort zone, life happens, gang. And so I just want to encourage you to pray. I had a couple recently just share. We don't usually pray together. Gang, we're toast without the power of prayer. To the one, prayer isn't magic in itself. I mean, it's a reminder. It helps our perspective. Have a check-in that hey, we need Father. If we try to do this gig, marathon, whatever, without him, come on. That's got a short shelf life, if you know what I mean. Lessons for life from your Irish brother's first marathon. Number 1, the start is always easy. The start is always easy at the beginning. Number 2, And so just make sure at the beginning that you're getting rid of any weight, fluid weight or whatever type of weight that you need to, so that you can run your race with patience. Number two, be careful not to start too fast, because your adrenaline's pumping. You're eager, you're excited. Come on. Rhythm, routine, a plan for the path ahead. It's massive, gang. Appearances mean pretty much nothing. All sorts of sizes, shapes, people flying ahead. If you want the notes, if you would love to get some of these, do me a favor. I'll probably share a few more tomorrow, but I want to encourage you, just write the word lessons in the chat area, and I'll send you 26 lessons, one for every mile. How about that? Don't stop when you feel pain. Pay attention when the pain comes, but sometimes you just have to keep running through the pain. And if you can't run through the pain, then you need to stop. You need to get attention. I'm not a sadist. I'm not like, but too many people stop when there's a little bit of pain, and so often pain is about growth, pain is about perseverance, right? Pain's about your brain trying to protect you, whether that's legit or whether that's imagined, and it's all connected, and that's another lesson, right? Number 5, audible encouragement makes a massive difference, even to the strangers in your life. So I want to encourage you, don't stop encouraging the people around you, whether you know them or no. Encouragement is blind to social status. Encouragement is blind to social status. People in lower income areas were, probably some of the best cheerers. And so my encouragement in that is just for all of us to be open to whoever God sends our way, and just to be looking for fingerprints of the Father. And then number 7, gang, this is power in prayer. Personally, private, silent, or open, or audible. Pushing through pain is, it's not the easiest choice, no. So often the best, Rebecca, isn't the easiest, is it? So often the best for us isn't the easiest. And that's just helpful for us to own that, to embrace that, to be aware of that. Yeah, you got it, Dean. We'll get lessons. We'll get these lessons to you. So if you want the lessons in your inbox or your messenger, I'm going to try to do this messenger bot thing. We'll figure it out somehow. But if you'd like the lessons, just write the word lessons in the chat area, and we'll send them to you. Any questions from those 7 lessons, just as we kicked off this morning before we wrap up? Any questions from any of those 7? It's not always easy. Don't start too fast. Appearances don't mean much. And if you're writing in a question and I'm not responding to it, I'm only able to see so many of them. So because there are a couple of different places that they are broadcasting, and some of them don't come through for whatever reason. That's a bit of a pain. But Pete, you got them, man. You got them. They'll be on their way a little bit later today, right? So I'm going to share some more with you tomorrow. I did not see them coming. I didn't see them coming. I was so blown away by how, it's going to sound like kooky maybe, but I didn't have a continental clue how much of a spiritual experience running a marathon was going to be. But I mean, like, it doesn't get much more practical than this, It doesn't get much more practical than the Star Wars. Like, and some of the stuff, like, we know, right? Man, Hey, one more thought I have for you too is if you ever wondered about being a life coach or considered adding a side hustle or ministry to your current job role, whatever, then I want to just encourage you to find your way over to Bitly. It's running across, well, actually, in Instagram, it's not. So to go to bit.ly/capital CLCT raining, RAINING. Okay. So, and the reason why I'm encouraging to go there is because on Friday of this week, I'm doing we're launching next week, but on Friday of this week, I'm doing what do you call it? I'm doing a webinar. I'm doing a masterclass, just talking about what does life coaching look like? Is that for me? How do I know if I'd be a good fit for that or not? And daily, have at it, or man, I'm in. And so I want to invite you to be my guest. In this masterclass, how to build a business or a ministry as a life coach. bit.ly/CLCT, and they're all capitals, so it's Certified Life Coach T Training, right? So CLCT, all caps, and then raining, RAINING, as in what it does a lot on my island. Rains a lot, like raining. So CLCT, RAINING. And Pete, man, I'm with you. I also need all the lessons that I can get. And I didn't know it, but man, 26 came my way. 26, one for every mile. Now, I didn't necessarily get them at every mile, but I thought to myself, I better write these things down. So just jump in on Friday. And we have one on Friday if you can't make it at 12 Eastern, which is it might be 5 p.m., 6 p.m., maybe your time, Pete, in England. But that's one. And then we have another on Saturday morning, 9 o'clock. Again, 5 hours ahead in Europe. So either one, jump in. It'll be the same for either one, but you'll when you go there, it'll give you a registration page, and you can pop in your name and number and your name and email. And I really want to encourage you to pop in your number because we'll send you a text reminder. And I'm not sure if that system works. So make sure you pop your email in there as well. Okay. Yeah. Don't stop when you feel the pain. I mean, we are such comfort creatures of pain numbing, right? I mean, stop the pain. I mean, the first slight, we're gone, like we're shut down, boom. And sometimes persevering, there's some of the just most powerful breakthroughs. Encouragement and prayer. Like, yeah, Kev, do you know when the last time I talked to him was? No, but it doesn't matter when the last time you talked to him was. And I'd say, just start again. And so I wouldn't know where to begin. You can begin with today. It's probably a good place to start. Just begin with today. And maybe acknowledge that you need him, more than maybe you were willing to acknowledge before. In quarantine, I said already, he's working on our characters. And he's wanting to teach us lessons in this marathon that we're all finding ourselves in right now. So, hey, I want to respect your time and the rest of your morning. And so I want to give you these 7 lessons from my first marathon. There are 19 others. And we'll kick some of them around probably tomorrow morning as well. But if you would like to receive them, then I want to encourage you, just type lessons in the chat area and I'll get them to you a little bit later this morning. And if you would like to be a part of a masterclass that I'm facilitating on Friday or Saturday morning, is life coaching for you, and what would that entail? What might that look like? And because we're launching a life coach certification training program next week. So if you want maybe to be in for that, pop that down. If this has blessed your socks or your soul, can I encourage you to sprinkle it amongst your friends and your family and your community, and give us a few thumbs up and likes and all the rest. And I leave you with an Irish blessing. How about that? May those who love you love you. And for those who don't love you, well, may God turn their hearts. And if he doesn't turn their hearts, may he turn their ankles, so that you'll know them by their limping. Have a wonderful rest of your day, and I will look forward to seeing you in the morning for your check-in with Kevin and your daily dose, and apply some of these 7 life lessons today from your Irish Brothers First Marathon, and I guarantee you your life will be enriched and it will be fuller because of it. You want to join me Friday, Saturday? bit.L for Linda, Y for yes, / capital CLCT, and then lowercase raining, and you will get to register there. If you have any problems with that, come back here and let me know in the chat area, and we'll get you the link. In fact, I'll pop in the link in the notes for this after it's posted. So have a fantastic rest of your day, and I will see you soon. All right. Blessings. Go boy.